for like a wedding. So she couldn't leave. She needed this stuff. And she got all of it in that trip. So she had like 3 carts, and the kid was just like slamming into the carts and making candles fall down and break. And we just constantly running around the store screaming. His mom had to catch him.
Why didn't that mom pick him up and just discipline him all over the floor?
Well, I don't think she could, because her arms were constantly full of supplies. But we had like old people who were just checking out because they couldn't do it. They couldn't deal with it. I had one group of old ladies say, "If you were that child, I would smack the crap out of you." And I was like, if I was that child, you wouldn't have to, because my mom already would have. They would not let me get away with that. Or they would give me a pacifier and I would shut right the hell up. But no, it was just like an hour and a half of just that kid screaming. Alright, so I guess a good follow-up question would be, what was the worst experience you've ever had with an employee?
None. I hardly work with them.
You lucky fuck.
I want to get like the first 15 to 20 minutes with them when we're shifting shifts.
I wish that was the case. Well, I work at Taco Bell right now, and the people that we employ, I mean, you'd think that there's supposed to be an intelligence quota, I assume. You know, there's got to be some point where there's a cutoff. But I have not seen that point yet. I mean, we had somebody who dropped tongs into the fryer, and no plastic on it, so it wasn't hurting the fryer. We just, have to get it out. And they were going to reach into the fryer to grab it.
Really?
Yeah. Just recently, they were just like, and I'm like, I almost don't want to say this, but what are you doing? Like, well, I'm going to get the tongs. I'm like, well, that's not how you do it. You use another set of tongs. Like, what if I drop that? And I'm like, well, drain the oil. You do not cook your hands to grab tongs in the oil. That's not how it works. And they didn't understand it. And that's the kind of stuff that amazes me. Yeah,
I see it's a little more interesting at Taco Bell than at my hotel.
It's probably because I have to work with people. Didn't you had a situation with a guy asking for towels in a sensual way, though, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. It was actually for ice.
Ice, okay.
And this guy who, he's getting away from the lawyers, apparently, because he's about to go on a big trip to the Barbados.
Going on a big trip backstage, great.
He's really splurged, and he gives me a $5 tip just because, and then he wants a sweet just because. So I do all that. He's like, he calls me up, so can you give me some ice? I'm like, sure, no problem.
What is it? He's just like, can you give me some ice?
Can you give me some ice, please? He had this awesome haircut. It was kind of like, it was parted in the middle and then like swooped up, like just like this. It was perfect. He had the most sensual voice I've ever heard. And I go upstairs and give him the ice. He gives me a $9 tip too, on top of the $5.
Nice.
And
that is $14 for you, those of you who can't do math.
Yep, $14 for just picking up an ice, which I'm not expected to get a tip for anyway. At least at this hotel. But anyways, he then proceeds to invite me for a drink. So I was like, I'm still on duty for another hour. Oh, don't worry about it. Just come in. Just one drink. Just one drink.
Just a sip.
Just a sip.
I swear, you
come
don't
on,
have to.
I'm gonna leave tomorrow. Don't worry about it. I'm like, sir, I appreciate the offer, but I need to go downstairs. And he's like, oh, all right. And then we parted, and I felt like
he wasn't paying you for the service. He was paying you for the service he wanted to receive.
Well, later, once I went down to the desk in about half an hour, he calls up. He's like, I wasn't trying to hit on you or anything.
Which is suspicious.
But I was like, I didn't read it as that, I swear.
Could cover up.
I was like, oh, okay, alright. Alright, have a good one then. I was like, click. Dodge a bullet there.
Yeah, called you up to tell you he wasn't trying to hit on you. We had, I work in drive-thru for the most part, and we had somebody come through. And we do a lot of judging of a person by their voice. And you're not supposed to say that, but that's what we do. Whenever we hear somebody, if it's a female, we immediately judge, hot or not, just by, the sound of their voice. But this guy comes through, and he had the deepest, most sensual voice we had ever heard in Taco Bell. I mean, I swear it was like Barry's white child. Just walked through. It was like, "Excuse me, sir." And I'm like, "Oh my God. I'm not a gay man. But for you, sir, I would do anything." He's like, "Could I please get a burrito supreme? Could I get that with easy red sauce? And do you think you could give me a large cup of ice water?" And I was like, "Yes, sir. Yes."
I would totally.
No, I would get you a large cup of anything, sir. No charge. Thank you. How much would that be? I'm like, oh, is it hot in here? It's $1.39. Please pull around. People don't say I have a bad voice, but I felt so inadequate compared to this man. His vocal dick was just so much greater than mine. And only hear that here. And when he pulled around, we had all expected basically Barry White, a pretty sizable black dude, maybe a little on the overweight side, but definitely makes up for it with that voice. It was an Asian guy.
No way.
Way. It was not just an Asian guy, but it was a very thin, very small Asian guy. Like, looking at his neck, we're like, there's no way that could hold those vocal cords. But he opens his mouth, and maybe there was a dude hiding in the car? No, it was him. "Hello there. I was wondering if I could get some fire sauce." And I'm like,
"Oh my God.
Sir, you have the sexiest voice ever." And he's like, "You're only about the third person to have told me that." I'm like, "But I bet everybody thinks it, sir. Just come to tell you right now." I'm going to tell you, don't want to be weird, but you got a good voice. He's like, "Thank you. Your compliment is well received." I'm like, God damn.
God, he can talk smooth.
He's just everything. I expect him to pull a mic, just, "Oh, darling, I can't get enough of your love, baby." And I've been like, "Okay, let's do this." Right in
drive-through, please. Just take
my
me.
closer, just bend over, put my butt out the window, and be like, "Just do what you will, sir. Whatever you will." Gay moments on a podcast.
There's this regular African guy that comes in like almost every week, and I always wonder what's the next woman's going to be this time. This is always a new woman he's sleeping with. The one before last I saw him, it was a 16-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, definitely. I saw the driver's license and everything. I'm like, and why are you with this man? He just seems like the sleaziest guy I've ever seen.
Well, he's sleeping with a 16-year-old, so yes, probably. On to a slightly lighter subject than pedophilia and statutory rape. I was looking at weapons in video games lately, and I was doing, I guess, kind of a, rethinking what my favorite one of all time is. And before it was the gravity gun from Half-Life 2. Because being able to pick anything up from anywhere and then throw it seems awesome. But now I'm starting to lean more towards the what's it called? Multi-tool? From Mass Effect?
Omni-tool.
Omni-tool, there we go. The Omni-tool. Because in the first game, it was good for like 3 things. You could...
Scanning.
Yeah, scanning, blowing somebody's gun up, hacking.
Yep.
That was about it. And the second game, they're like, well, I mean, it's good for a lot more than that. You can also throw fireballs and hack AIs, and you can throw cryo balls, and you can summon these weird Omni-tool-based robots to shoot stuff, and make drones, and make turrets, and hack things, and scan things, and...
It's definitely like Sonic Screwdriver of Mass Effect.
But then in the third game, they add to that Sonic Screwdriver by giving it blades. Just
why not?
Because, sometimes when I go into battle, I feel like having a knife at my side is too slow than having a knife in my handheld computer system. And, it's also a television for if, you're getting bored in the field and you want to watch the game on some other planet. Well, don't worry, it has a screen. Full color, it's not orange.
HD.
Completely.
1080p.
You can get that shit on YouTube. You can look at your porn on it, whatever. And it seems like just anything you want to do is done with like 3 simple motions and then waving it.
Yep.
Up, Television, I want to change the channel, but the remote